to Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings, with me, Gretta Chamberlain, Yvonne Kraeher, Leigh Stima, and the Realm of Beings. Shifting Impressions, which is one of the vehicles that supports the transmission of the Realm of Beings, is here to assist you in delving into your being by providing numerous topics and discussions for you to intake as you deepen your connection with your inner world. Shifting Impressions is here to assist you in strengthening yourself as you excavate to understand your true nature. Leigh, Yvonne, and myself, with the Realm of Beings, eagerly invite you to join us today and learn to shift your mindset, shift your thoughts, and shift your focus to recreate your life and produce a new you. Shifting Impressions starts now.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings. I'm Leigh, and I'm here with Yvonne and Gretta, and we are very happy to be on Transformation Talk Radio every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. When you hear the term Realm of Beings, you may ask yourself who they are, why are they coming into our lives now, and are they in my life? Can I receive messages from them? You know, do we all receive guidance? And if we do, how can we use that guidance to flow through our lives with ease? These conversations will help you examine your life and your creation of reality. They will help you to shift your impressions and understand what you're creating in your life and how it shows up. Good morning, ladies.
Morning, Leigh. It's good to have you back.
It's good to be back. I missed you guys, but it was really nice to listen to you live while I was waiting. So thanks for continuing the podcast in my absence. Today, we are going to be working with the quotation, "Seek and you find the understanding of self." So I don't know, sometimes when I hear that, when seek, like, what does that mean? Is it seek within? Is it just ask for answers to your questions and maybe you will find a book or, a mentor to maybe guide you along the way? What do we think?
It seems like to me like a simple quote. You know, some of these quotations.
Simple, Yvonne, and then we talk for an hour about them.
No, but this one, I honestly feel like, even though there's a few words there, it's deep. There's a lot there. So that's my first impression. So we're going to explore. We're going to see what we can find by this seeking, by this looking, by this trying to understand ourselves. Excavation. That's how I look at it. An excavation.
You know, and that thought, it was interesting that the Realm of Beings came up with that quote, because a similar quote like that has been around for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And it's sitting on one of, or inside one of the pyramids in Egypt.
Really?
Yes, it is. And the quote is, "Know thyself."
Yeah, in Delphi, right? In Greece also, know thyself. The philosophers
Well, see, that's interesting because, see, the philosophers that you see that are in Greece at that point studied. See, Greece conquered Egypt and changed the name of it. It wasn't called Egypt in the beginning. So they changed that name. So a lot of the cultural things that were there were taken. Like the library at Alexandria was completely taken away, and some people claimed it to be their own writings, and it wasn't. So I'm going to defray from ancient Greece, back to ancient Kemet, because that's where they got it
The
from.
source of it all. I
Yeah.
don't think I think it's all the history books have probably, that's the only source I ever knew is like ancient Greece on the oracle, know thyself. It's important information, but yeah, let's go back to Egypt. I wouldn't mind hearing a little bit more about that history, and or like that's so far as what we know. You can share from your seeking.
Well, that statement can be highly politicized as well. Know thyself, because it was claimed, but I'm sure if we look in some other books, we're going to find it elsewhere as well.
Correct.
But I think the idea of it is that for today, I think it's each one of us has to look in ourselves and see what are we creating. And those people that don't even understand that they create, they can see their lives. They can see if they're happy in it, if they're satisfied in it, even if they don't know one iota about you create your own reality. That's the interesting thing. We're still aware. So we get to the point in our lives that, I want to change. I want to change my life. I don't like how my life is going. Most of the people come to me because there's something that they want to change. I know when I created, what happened with me was that I created to wind up singing in a church. They were looking for a singer to join the group. It was a quartet. So they needed an alto. So one of my mother's friends knew that I was looking for an extra job. So she said, well, why don't you go on over there? And I said, oh, okay. They were only paying like $25 a Sunday. But I said, oh, I'll take that, because that'll take care of my gas. Of course, it won't take care of the gas today, but back then,
say that again.
it took care of the gas. So it was a religious science church. And when I went there, I really, really got along with the minister. Her name was Vera. And I spent an hour in an interview with her, and she said, okay, you're hired, Greta. I said, oh, thank you so much. I got up and I was walking toward the door, and she said, I never asked to hear you sing. I just hired you. I said, okay, you see what I created, right? Okay, so make a long story short. Every Sunday, I sat there listening to religious science. Every Sunday. So it started going into my brain. I stayed there for about 2-3 years, listening to the same thing on Sundays. Ernest Holmes, about creation of reality, slowly going into my brain. And I want to say slowly, okay? Then one day I decided, okay, I'll get a group of people together and we'll have a class. So we had a class. Vera was the teacher, then she left us, and we got another, our next teacher, Claudine. And Claudine really hit home, because she said, you create your own reality. I said, get out of here. No, I didn't. I can't use the word, but it's my famous word, that I said when I was a baby. And I told her, I said, no, you can't tell me that I did all that blank to myself. I said, no way. So it took a while for that to sink in, because then you gotta, once you realize that you did it to yourself, then you gotta go through the passageway of not feeling guilty, not feeling stupid, not feeling dumb that you would go out and do something ridiculous.
Sorry for yourself.
For
Right.
real. You go through that. At least I went through that. Let me not project it on everybody else. But it took me a while. And when I say while, I'm talking years. So I'm not.
So what do you think the underlying, okay, what is the underlying mechanism if you don't even know that, or not have no awareness that you create your own reality, but then you create a reality to be sitting in a science, what is it, Church of Science, what did you call it?
Science of mind. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then hearing about the creation of reality. So is that like your unconscious at work pushing you to get the,
yeah,
you know,
because I was a seeker all the time. Anyway,
that's why I want to bring the quote in. So you were seeking, and then this opportunity came along for you to be a singer. And as a result of your interview with, didn't even include singing, you got the job as a singer, and there you go. So you got an exploration of yourself in that seeking. I mean, that's like kind of in the physical world, how like it seems like this led to that, led to that, led to that.
So to me, it didn't have anything to do with creation of reality. But see, there's one thing that I did know about myself. And that was, if I really thought about something, put a lot of energy and thought to it, I could manifest it. Now, did I know anything about creation of reality? No. But see, we're learning every step of the way. Sometimes it will lead us to it. Sometimes we take a path that leads us away, but then we wind up coming back to it in some way or another. So, because people used to call me, like people call me now for facilitations. People used to call me or see me, Gretta, will you pray for me? I was a praying sister, let me tell you. So, you know, they'd say, and I would fast for like 3 days or so, from sunrise to sunset, and I wouldn't put anything in my mouth, including water. So just to kick it in for somebody. And
you were trying to do that for somebody else, though. How does that play into it? Did it work?
I don't know. I just realized I could do something like that.
Okay.
I didn't know.
But I thought you can't help anybody else. I mean,
well, you got to remember, at that time, I wasn't thinking like that. I didn't know any better.
Right.
I just thought that, you know, I sit down, I'll fast a few days, I'll pray for you, and then it'll manifest. That's
so
all.
These were the baby steps. And so it seems to me like, from what, you know, like what the focus of our podcast is, the creation of reality, that you are like sort of like dabbling in staying in your current belief system of like miracles and manifestation and seeking outside for the answers and the resolutions. And yet you are also realizing that I have power myself. And, you know, by doing something like fasting, that's making a commitment of like a complete cleanse or whatever, a purification, plus that attention to like the mantra of prayer, that you were doing something, and as a result, something happened. But I guess if we take it one step further, if the individual does that work on their own and guides themselves and realizes how powerful they are, they can manifest whatever they want.
Right. Like I think that everybody who's on the podcast, the people who listen to our podcast, are all interested in creation of reality in some way or another, in reference to their own lives. Those are the people that we are attracting to this podcast. Not only that, but Transformation Talk Radio. Just listen to the name of it. Transformation Talk Radio. I mean, it's all about transformation of some sort. And there are loads of other podcasts that are coming out of Transformation Talk Radio, but they all deal with transformation along with us. That is one thing it deals with. You see, it's a transformation. You have to be ready for the transformation, because for me, the transformation snuck up on me. You know, don't tell me I create my own reality. Are you crazy? All that stuff, all of those things that I went through. Oh my God, don't tell me I did that.
Yeah, that's a big pill to swallow. When I reflect back on thinking, no, that was somebody else's fault. I didn't do that.
That's right. I used to blame my mother. Blame my mother. It's her fault. You know, I did.
Yeah, I think that's a common link with us all. I mean, I don't want to speak for everybody out there, but I've heard in my years a lot of people blaming their parents for stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I know I did.
I know I did too.
Shoot, if you could think of something, it was Mama's fault. She did. That's right. And then when I got married, it's my husband's fault.
Yeah.
He did it. And then when it's the children come along, look what you did to your mother. Okay. So we all go that route.
Yeah.
There's not anybody, you know, if somebody in this world said to me, one, I have no problems. Two, I've never blamed anybody in my life, I'm going to know automatically they're lying.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the children in the future, like years from now that are born, will probably be like just automatically born with more consciousness just by what's going on these days with an awareness of energy. And it doesn't seem like that in the greater world, people taking responsibility, but at least in my little circle, I can feel like the consciousness of, raising people, taking more, there's like more accountability for, your own problems. And in a way that's, they haven't gone as far as like, I did that, I created that, but it's like going in that direction. I feel it moving in that direction. At least that's my perspective.
Well, I mean, we don't see this in the greater reality because creation of reality never makes it onto the propaganda news networks. So
true.
It's all in these little kind of, let's say, grassroots, I suppose, sort of sphere, right?
Right. Podcasts and Clubhouse and whatever these social
media kind of little niche.
Kitchen table talks too. I mean, I have had the best conversations with my kids and my relatives.
I was like, kitchen table talks? What's that? There's something I don't know about, but you're actually talking about talking at your table with people.
It's common in my household and I love it.
No, that's so nice. It's wonderful. But I was like, oh, is that something I don't know about? Kitchen table talks?
You get the best stuff. The best therapy is done at the kitchen table. Anyway, nurturing and sharing.
Well, ladies, we're winding down to our first break. And I would like to thank the listeners for joining us today. You've been listening to Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings. We'll take a short pause and we'll be right back.
Welcome back. We are on Transformation Talk Radio. I'm Yvonne. I'm here with Gretta, Leigh, and of course, the Realm of Beings. And we are discussing on our podcast how to shift. We bring up quotes every week and trying to figure out ourselves how to shift our impressions. these conversations and quotes will assist us in opening ourselves up to information and change and a shift. So today we are discussing the quotation from the realm. It's seek and you find the understanding of self. So as usual, we get a little sidetracked, but it all is, I think, all the way it's all supposed to be. So yeah, taking an exploration into more awareness of our inner world so that we can create whatever it is that serves our greater good and the greater good of everybody, I suppose, by changing and shifting our mindset, shifting our impression of what's going on and in our lives so that we can create a reality that we really are aligned with, that's what we want. So ladies, here we go. Chapter 2. Anything else coming up here that you want to share with our audience?
Fear.
Yeah. Fear of what?
Fear of change.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one. Fear is always there at the root, I think, of things that are uncomfortable. Yeah.
Right, because some of us don't want to change.
Yeah.
Even though we're in a terrible situation, but at least we know what that situation is.
Mm-hmm.
What will the new situation be? What will that entail? What will that be like? Is it going to be worse? Is my change going to create something that's worse? Is my change going to create something that's better?
The unknown.
Right. And when you don't understand, you create your own reality. You are out there. You're just out there because you don't realize that you have the control over the changes. Not only do you have the control over the changes, but you create the doggone change. You know, yourself. You know, it's sometimes I look at Asian movies, and many times, especially if they're the historical ones, they talk about, destiny. They talk about what's the other one? Destiny. It's your destiny that this is going to happen to,
Fate.
Fate, yes, that's it. Destiny and fate. So it's easier to believe in destiny and fate. I was destined to marry a man who beat me to death.
Ooh.
Okay, let's be for real. That stuff happens. So or
always on the bright side of things, Greta.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I know. But there's so many people out there that are, God, beat up on themselves for stuff they don't even need to beat up on themselves for.
Right. I mean, I think part of this has to do with, you have to have even the wherewithal, the inkling from within to even believe that your situation is changeable, right? I mean, some people are just so stuck that maybe they can't even fathom the possibility of something being different. So that little seed has to grow, within you that I don't want this anymore. And what can I do to make it different?
Right. You're absolutely right. I've worked with people. I had one woman, she was with me for about 7 years, and she still didn't understand about creation of reality. She didn't. And then all of a sudden she started, but it took her, get this, it was really interesting. It took her to listen to the videos, the Abraham videos. Even though I had been saying the same thing to her for years, she didn't quite get it. But once she went to the Abraham videos, and she says, oh yeah, you create your own reality. I told you the story about my daughter's father. Did I ever tell you that? Kai was 7. She had to be 7. She's a very, very psychic, and she's always been a prolific kid. Anyway, she comes home from a visit with her father, because now we're separated, okay, we're divorced. And she says, Mom, I said, what, Kai? Well, Dad did something, or something happened to Dad, and I told him, I said, Dad, you create your own reality. 7-year-old telling him he creates his own reality. She came home, she said, he didn't believe me. That's all right. That's all right. Don't even worry about it. I said, one day your father may get to the point that he will understand that. So just be patient. Okay, so now another day, another year, she had gone to visit her father. She came back to me. She says, you're not going to believe this. Now, when it's another year, she's about 17. She was 7. Okay.
Oh, I thought a year after, not another year.
No.
Oh, okay.
It was when she was 17. He said to her,
one little decade later.
yes. He said to her, well, you know, you create your own reality, Kai. Like she didn't know that. I said, what did you do, Kai? She said, Mom, I was just quiet, and I said, thank you, Dad, and left it alone. She said she came home, she just shook her head. Took that long
Well,
for him to see that. But she knew it when she was 7. See, it doesn't matter how old you are
right.
or how long it takes. It doesn't matter. It's that you want to somewhat get there. And maybe you might not get there in this quote unquote lifetime and have to work on it again in the next one. And when I mean by the next one, I'm not talking about reincarnation, all that stuff. I'm talking about going to a transitional portal, and you're going to work on, because you work on lessons that you haven't learned yet. So it takes a while. That's why I'm so grateful for the concept that time does not exist.
Right. It's a total construct, right?
Right. Right. So you don't have to be, you don't have to
worry about running out of time, or
Yeah,
Right.
it's stress.
take me
I think that's
1,000 years.
Yeah, that's right. That's
It
right.
just creates stress by having that constriction on people, like, oh, I have to get this done. I have this deadline. And, if you just relax.
Okay.
But, I want to say, when you said that on people, remember, they create not to be relaxed.
Correct.
The person themselves are creating that.
Right.
Right.
But it's actually a belief system that's very prevalent in the world.
Yeah. Oh,
a lot
yeah,
of people are creating it at the same time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm in total agreement with that. Yeah. But I think if people, and people believe in what you stated earlier, Yvonne, miracles.
Yeah.
When it's something they don't understand, they say it's a miracle. People say it's a miracle. It's something that came out of the ethos, when in actuality they created that themselves.
It was always there. It's just a matter of people realizing it and bringing it into their physical reality, physical life right here.
Right. There are other earlier civilizations prior to us. And I want to say, when I'm talking about root races.
Mm-hmm.
So we are the 5th, the way we look now in this humanoid body and what our capabilities are at the moment that we have developed. We are the 5th root race. Now, there were races before us, like the Atlanteans would be the 4th, Lemurians or the Lemanians, they're called either way, had other belief systems and other more superior knowledge than what we have, superior science. So, so it just depends. it depends on why did we come here? You know, why are we here? You know, what do we do? What do we contribute? So, and I always say, well, the reason why you're here is because of the experiential evolution of the force itself.
Right.
Because the force is evoluting. That's what's going on. So you're helping the force. Like with the health challenge that I had over these past few days, I know the force is experiencing it. How do I know that? Because I see myself as the force. See, that's another thing that ties into creation of reality. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a question that's been rattling around in there for the last couple of minutes. So I'm just going to ask. And okay, if you were in a place where maybe you're not fully buying this, I create my own reality business, right? And, you know, in different circles, I've heard, you know, well, if you're in a tough place, just ask for help. You know, is that if we're all creating our own reality and you're asking for help from some higher source, let's say, you know, angels, deities, whatever you think it may be, is that just the question that you arise within yourself to create more answers?
I think people do
Does
that
make
out of
sense?
yeah, it does, out of a religious context, because I ask for help all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I know the realm of beings that we listen to every week is there with me, along with all the angels and dragons, which is we'd have to another
But
day.
that's another time, dragons.
Yeah. But I love my dragons now. But you can ask for assistance. I told you about my book, right? That I got from my friend. She sent me a book on equine therapy. And then she wanted to let me know it was coming because it was going to sit on my front porch. She didn't want anybody to take it, which they don't, nobody's going to take it. I don't want to experience that. But then she called me back the next day. She said, something's happened. I said, what's happened? She said, there's a book that's on my credit card, but I didn't put it there. I said, you didn't? She said, but I think it belongs to you. I said, okay, so what is the book? She said, it's about angels. And I said, oh yes, it's mine. So she sent it to me, right? I opened up the book, and when you open up the back of the book, it had angels' wings all over, just one set of, you know, you open up and you see the angels' wings in the back. So I said, okay, you know, because I talked to myself, okay, you sent me this book. Why did you send me this book? So then I intuited, opened the book up to the preface. It was either a preface or introduction. So I opened it up to that page. I said, okay, there are a lot of words on this page. Where do you want me to go? Just go ahead. So I took my finger and I ran down the page like this. And some said, stop. So I stopped right there. And it said, when you need help, call on the angels. That was that line. Because the whole book, it was a little thin book, about so thin. All it had in it were stories of people that contacted angels, and the angels had helped them. That's what the whole book was about. And they sent me a book on my friend's credit card just for that sentence. Call on the angels when you need help. So they're there to support you. They're your support team. Just like we've been talking in the podcast about create, support, create, you know, so you want support. So you can call on them to assist you. I do it all the time. I even call on it when I need to write, when I was in school and I needed to write a paper. I said, come on, you all, help me write this paper, you know, help me do this. And I'll intuit, they'll give it to me, you know. So yeah, I call on them all the time. But I want to say this, when I call on them all the time, I recognize that they are one with me and I am one with them. So there is no separation. So in a sense, it's like calling on myself.
Good point. I was just thinking about that because, you know, the way I was raised, you know, like we have, you have a guardian angel that's always there with you. And it's almost like, according to certain religions, they're, you know, it's almost like they're personified and they're not, I look at it now after doing a lot of studying and have a, you know, deeper understanding of, you know, especially the creation of reality, that this is all energy and we're all part of the same ball or so of energy. It might just be, you know, expressing itself as an angel or as a dragon or whatever, but it is all part of the same source or force of energy. And that's part of us, you know, we're part of it. We're, again, you know, you've described it nicely in previous podcasts, but it's not something or someone that's dressed up in a robe with wings. That's how we perceive it, or, you know, can, like, in our brains and our human heads have to have something that looks different than us, which I feel like that's what creates that division. Oh, that angel is better or more, you know, spiritual than me, when we're the same, right?
Yeah, we are the same, not even a part of. We
Yeah.
are the same. We are it. We are each other. When you talk about them having wings, they played a joke on me once. They stood, maybe about 5 of them, 4 to 5 of them stood on the sidewalk that runs north and south in front of my house, right? And I'm looking, I said, now why are those angels out there? You know, because they put themselves in these long white robes, you know, because that's how we imagine them, right? With these
Right.
long white robes. And then soon, and I'm staring at them out through my front door. And then these little wings, the wings start growing and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I mean, they were getting tall, big, coming out of their backs. I mean, big angels. And see, my block doesn't have streets that run laterally. That run east and west. So I'm one whole block. So they spread out with the block and grew these long wings out there and reached all the way to the ends. Each end of one wing went to one end of the block, the other wings went to the other end of the block. Then they stood there and they flapped them up and down like this. And when they flapped them up and down like this, then they laughed at me. I know. I thought it was exciting myself. But that really happened to me. They said, and then they just laughed. Because they knew that's a tale, a fable, a myth, whatever we want to call it, that they have wings. We draw pictures of them with wings, you know. So they said, okay, well, we'll let you see some wings.
Yeah.
And flap them in
It's
the air.
humor is always good.
Oh, they have the angels of the white light. The
Well, I
angels.
think humor is universal, right?
Right.
Oh yeah, they have humor. They have humor. They haven't done it lately, but they would play jokes on me. They would send me things, like they sent me the book. They sent me a friend. He would go out every morning and he would send pictures of the sunset to everybody. I mean, sunrise to everybody, to all of his friends. So one day, instead of me getting a sunrise, I got because he would go to the lake And so the sound that he sent me, that I think he sent me, was the water crashing up against the rocks. Because I love water. I love hearing. So it was crushing. So I sent him a text message. I said, "Oh, that was so nice of you to send me that water crashing up against the rocks." I said, "Thank you so much." He said, "Greta, I didn't send you anything." I said, "It came by way of your phone." He said, "Greta, I'm telling you, I did not send you anything." Aha. So then I realized, I said, "Oh, look at them. They sent me that." Yeah. See, we got to be.
That was you sending it to yourself, though. You created that.
Yeah, of course I did.
Listen, I think that is a perfect place to take a pause, because we want to have enough time for the realm of beings to come back into our third chapter and continue to explore this quotation: seek and you find the understanding of self. So let's take a short break here on Transformation Talk Radio, and we will see you in just a bit. Thanks for listening.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for returning and joining us on Shifting Impressions. I'm Leigh. I'm here with Yvonne and Greta, and this is the portion of our podcast where we are joined by the realm of beings, and they get to weigh in on our conversation. So, realm, are you there?
Yes, yes.
Okay, today we have been discussing the quotation, seek and you find the understanding of self. And Greta mentioned that in Khmer, I guess this was on the temple, know thyself. So what do you have to add to our podcast this week?
What we want to say is that coming here as a humanoid in this laterality was you chose to experience other realities. And in experiencing those realities, you learn about yourself in reference to what you call this life. Every minute, every moment, you are creating your reality. It's not something that, like getting a car, and you think, "Oh, I created to get a car." You created to wake up this morning, and you create not to wake up in the morning, and you create not to wake up, period. When you're tired and you think you're through with this experience, then you move on to the next one. So every moment, each one of you is learning about self at each moment.
So seeking is really learning and or evolving, a constant progression. It's all the same thing: seeking, learning, understanding. Right? Is that right, Realm?
We would say that, Yvonne, yes. It's learning every step of the way.
Sounds
Even
like a destination.
destination.
It's like I've arrived. What?
You never arrive.
That's what I'm saying. Like, according to the quote, Realm, it says, seek and you find the understanding of self. Like, the idea of understanding is also not a static concept.
because it stays, because what is to really understand about self is to recognize and know that you are the force. Until you understand that and learn that, then you are in constant progression of experiencing self.
And even when you understand that, wouldn't you continue growing and seeking?
When you understand what, Yvonne?
That you are the creation of reality. You create your own reality.
Well, it takes it deeper than you create your own reality. Then you understand that you've created the reality for each and every one that you have created to see and put into your world. You have created the whole thing. You have created these individuals. You see. So it's you're continuing, going from transitional portal to transitional portal. Some people call it reincarnation. It's not like you coming back. You don't come back. You just move deeper into self, going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper in understanding. Sometimes it takes for you to leave this environment permanently to go to the next environment. In other words, it takes what humanoids call dying and then going to the next transitional portal so that you can experience more of self and learn more of self. You're learning more and more and more that you are the force, that you create your own reality. That's the beginning of moving toward that. You know, it's very important to understand you create your own reality. Then when you get to that point, then you can begin to understand who you really are in the beginning. And then you begin to understand that everybody that you see in front of you is one with you and there is no separation ever. So
the real lesson is about separation then.
Yes, you could say that. I would say that that is one of the lessons that you have to learn, is that there is no separation. You see, at this point, there is no one on this quote unquote earth in this laterality that truly understands oneness. As you are now, it is outside of your purview to truly understand oneness, because you can look at your world, look at the wars that are going on, look at the trying to conquer mineral resources, trying to have power over individuals. Look at that. It's low vibration, but everybody must learn. They must learn. Eventually you'll learn. Eventually. And that is your journey toward understanding that you are the force. When you understand that you are the force, there's no need to try and manipulate somebody.
Mm-hmm.
There's no need to try and conquer somebody. There's no need.
So, I don't know, is this the last evolution of this separation that we're going through now? All of these, trials for what they call finite resources, but in actuality, the resources are infinite and they belong to to everyone, because we're all one.
Right. So you can see that at this point where you are in this quote unquote world, that is not the case.
Right.
Look at how many people are It's kind of ridiculous. Wasting energy resources to kill people. What is the use of that? Other than to move them to their next transitional portal. That is the only reason for it. Moving out, regardless if it's a virus that's moving you out, a vaccine that's moving you out, a war that's moving you out, or you're moving yourself out. Doesn't matter. You're moving on to the next transitional portal. We
Just some
suggest
people
that,
are some people are choosing to do it sooner rather than others in this time frame, I guess.
when you talked about abortions in one thing, we suggested to Greta to bring that up. The embryo comes, stays for a month, and then exits, because that's all it wanted to experience. You stay for as long as you want to experience where you are. That's where you stay. When you no longer need to stay here to experience this, then you're going to move and make your transition. To some people, it may look like a horrible transition. A transition is a transition. It doesn't matter how you make it. Because once it's done, once your etheric body separates from your physical body and it disintegrates, you are no longer attached to the illusion here.
Realm, thank you for joining us and sharing your insight today. We are coming to the end of yet another podcast. Yvonne, do you have something to add in closing?
Just feeling so grateful to be here with our audience and you and the realm. And yes, until we create each other again.
Once again, thanks for joining us at Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings on TransformationTalkRadio.com. As you have explored today's creation of reality experience with Leigh, Yvonne, the Realm, and me, Greta, each of you is being supported by us in further developing the understanding that you are not just an individual existing in linear time and space, but a multi-dimensional force of infinite possibilities who is connected to all. So begin to create the realities you want. Join us every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific Time and 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Shifting Impressions at TransformationTalkRadio.com. So long until we create each other again next Friday.